5 national championships. 6, if you count Ohio State. And they don't believe in us. We got 9 Hall of Famers. The most fertile recruiting ground in the nation. And they don't believe in us? They don't believe in us. 2 Heisman Trophy winners. They don't believe in us? The city? Mario did.
Welcome to South Florida. Yeah. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida, the bottom of the clip of the Gunshine State. Well, them boys still boating in that way. Big plate, get it for the 18 if you straight. Get cake and stop hating, it's the motto of the state. A lot of face, but it's still real around here. That foreign talk, that can get you killed down here. Niggas better learn the lingo.
We talked about Hard Rock Stadium, whatever it's called, Joe Robbie forever. And how you too big, you can't feel it, yada, yada, yada. Well, now you got somebody sitting in the driver's seat. You got some resources that's been thrown into the program. And people around here feeling really goddamn good. Watch when Saturday come, that stadium versus Bethune. Watch it be lit. The University of Miami, Mario Cristobal, Radakovich, they've came to here and kicked the door down with John Ruiz and whoever else is involved with everything that Miami's doing. And it's gonna show at that stadium. Versus Bethune. I said it. It's gonna be lit. It might feel like North Lane. All right, it's game week. We back out here. And actually for the first time I've never seen, we have actual scout jerseys out here. I've never seen at the University of Miami where there were guys actually dressed out in the other team's colors. Scout jerseys. Never seen that before. But it's Tuesday, man. A couple of days before game time. And this is game down. I got here really, really fast, man. A lot of arguments. Can they go undefeated? Guys dropping balls.
Anybody rolling?
Is Coach Gattis that guy? Is it his fault? Does Coach Fell really know how to do a curl properly? All that off-season trash is out the door now. We're here now. Bethune Cookman game 1. There's a few things, man, a few things on the table that we're trying to figure out with the Canes. Who's the guys at wide receiver? Who's the guys? Who's the guy at wide receiver? Shout out to Susan. Who's the guy at wide receiver that's going to step up? Or our starting cornerbacks. Who's going to be the one that's cornerbacks to step up in that room? The defensive line. The defensive line, who's going to be our guy on the defensive line? And who's going to be our emerging guys behind them in depth chart? How thin is our O-line? We heard Coach Maribal and Coach Cristobal has gotten the O-line in shape, playing as well as they've played, as well as the O-line has played here at the University of Miami for a while. But what's behind the starters? What would the depth look like at O-line? All of this will have to be figured out. All of this will be figured out in no time. But you know how season is, man. Once the season gets started, it gets rolling. Texas A&M will be here in no time. Florida State will be here in no time. And we'll have our answers. But I tell you this, man. Just like this weather out here this morning. Got the sun covered up, wind blowing, the palm trees out. It feels good to have football back and to know that the nightmare's over. And we didn't catch our Giant Assassins interview with Miami Central, Coach Jube and Coach AJ. That's in the member section, man. You check that out. It aired live. hour. It was an hour, maybe 20 minutes longer there live. So we had more people in there watching live than we've ever had. I think maybe 330 it got up to. Then we'll release pieces of it, pieces of the interview, and then eventually in the end release the entire interview. But if you want to become a Footballville villain, man, it's in the members section. That's where it is if you're looking for it. On this coaching staff, man, I had a nice long talk with Coach Patty Smith, Roland Smith, yesterday here before the press conference. And talked to him about the win. Talked to him about Miami Central going up there to defeat IMG. He told me how he tried to get a 1-1 back and forth, 10-year deal with St. Thomas that kind of fell through. The last time Miami Central went to St. Thomas, Miami Central defeated them at St. Thomas. We just had a nice little conversation, man, about him and what did he say to Coach Jude. He was a part of that staff, part of building that team. Him and Coach Savage Joseph are both here. Nice little conversation me and Coach Patty Smith had about a lot of things, man, about the community, and getting kids out of the community, and things of that nature. Yesterday we got word that the University of Miami will be picking up a running back, former UAB running back, Lucius. I think it was Lucius Stanley, out of Fort Myers. He's a Florida kid. He was in the class of 2016. 6 foot, 215 pound, Lucius Stanley. And we asked Mario Cristobal about it. He couldn't really talk about it at the time. But we think that Lucius Stanley is here. He's in practice today. And that's just to add to the depth, of the running backs. The running back room has been hit with injury. The lead guys, you got Parrish, you got Thad, and you got Rooster. But behind that, I mean, you're going to need some serviceable guys behind that, some guys that's going to come in and be able to make it happen. Class of 2016, bro, I'm not sure. I didn't look into his story to see what it was or why was he out of football. But it has to be a hell of an opportunity for him and a dream come true for him to be out here to get a chance. To get a chance to be out here and to get a chance to do this thing again, and it's possible he get an opportunity. On the recruiting front, spoke with some guys close to American Heritage, man, and it's looking like Mark Fletcher will be flipping to the Canes. Mark Fletcher will be flipping to the Canes eventually. And also, with Mark Fletcher, it's been talked that the Hurricanes have been really, really hard on Brandon Ennis, going after Brandon Ennis really, really hard. And I've always questioned that. Like, listen, these local kids that are here locally, when they're as good as Brandon Ennis, you got to take them on flowers every morning, somehow. Apple pie, something, pumpkin pie. So you got to get her something every day. You got to really recruit these kids when they're here homegrown and they're right here. You have to be able to do the things that other schools can't do because they're so far away. They can pick up the phone and call, but yeah, we got the #1 Mr. Telephone Man in Mario Cristobal. But what else can we do to recruit these kids every day to make them feel comfortable at coming to the U? Because you got to understand that these kids grew up in an era where the University of Miami wasn't good. They've seen the Georgias, they've seen the Ohio States, they've seen the Alabamas. That's who they look at. That's when they think of college football and the winners. That's who they think of. So we're hearing that American Heritage, Mark Fletcher, man, big running back, who we did the whole story on Ohio State and how they recruited him. His family, whole entire family is UM fans. We're hearing that he is a huge chance, 85%, 90% maybe a Cane. And we're also hearing that the Canes are coming really, really hard at Brandon Ennis. So listen, dog, it's game day. If you ain't lit, then you just ain't lit at this point. Caneville, man. IOD squad. Get locked in with us. Become a football villain. Street up out of here. All right, man. Anybody been following Khaled and they didn't believe in us and all of this, just dropped the album. Well, he got a song called Big Time, right? He got a song called Big Time. You go check out the video. All right, man. You ain't gonna check the video. I'm gonna tell you right now. The house in the video looks really similar, looks just like John Ruiz's house. Now, could be another house around here somewhere built like that, but I've been to John Ruiz's house before. I know what it looks like. I know the color, I know the outside, inside, I know what it looks like. Got DJ Khaled and the baby and Future on your lawn. Okay. What gave it away was cigarette boat. Now ain't nobody else got cigarette boats, right? John Ruiz got cigarette boats. Listen, talking about big time, bro, listen, that when we're talking about recruiting kids and things like that, where Future and Khaled shoots a video at your house, and you can kind of throw that out there. Yeah, this is the house where Future and Khaled shot that video at. They were standing right here. Yeah, remember they had exotic women with right? Yeah, they were standing right here. That is big time. That is big time. That is speaking to the kids and the culture when it comes to things like that. Go check it out, man. DJ Khaled's song Big Time. Now listen, man, it's game time. The game's about to kick off. What, 3 o'clock Saturday? You got Bethune in Miami, and a lot of y'all say, well, Bethune, we're supposed to beat Bethune and things of that nature. But plays are plays. When we look at player stats at the end of the season, right? When we look at their stats, right? We look at numbers. We look at catches, yards, attempts, yards, tackles. It don't say next to the goddamn tackles, 8 of them was at Bethune. It don't. It don't. Somebody go out here and have a 250-yard receiving day. He started his season off with 250 yards. He's not going to have an asterisk by it and say that was against the boy from Daytona. It's not. So let's stop acting like these games don't count. They are kids that play football. You got to tackle them, you got to score on them, and you got to execute against them. Period. When it comes to the game of football, bro, we always talk about things like the 40-yard dash and does it really translate to the actual game. In the game of football, the gladiator sport, it isn't the same as practice. It's not. You got players that practice well. We've seen them in the past. Got them accolades, got them to start, got them on the field. The coaches like them. And then you got players that play well. It's just a thing. That is what it is. I'm not saying you shouldn't reward the players that practice well. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is the game of football is a gladiator sport. So the things you do on the football field during the game, a lot of times it's survival. Not always technique. I said it in the last video. You're not finna tell me these wide receivers gonna go out here, these kids that I know, Restrepo, Romello, eventually George. You're not gonna tell me these guys gonna go out here and forget how to play wide receiver. They may forget some of the shit that they was taught, or some of the shit they had to unlearn, or relearn, or unlearn and relearn, and then higher learn. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna forget how to play receiver. They're not. I'm saying that to say this. I said it, Romello will eventually emerge as the guy, one of the top guys. Restrepo will be the go-to guy. Listen, I know I'm banking on that. That's what I'm banking on, and that's what I'm rolling with. When it comes to Jacoby George, it's a real thing, a weird thing with Jacoby George. We've been on record as saying Jacoby George may be sitting out a few games for some issues. This is what we know about Jacoby George. In the spring, he came to the podium. We got to speak with him. A lot of times, the guys that come to the podium in post-practice are the guys that they trust, that they believe in. the leaders of the team. That was in the spring. We didn't see Jacoby George at the media day. We ain't seen him come to the podium since. Haven't really heard much about him. Yes, I believe that, yeah, there may be a suspension or something, and right now they can't really focus on things of that nature because he may not be in the fold for the first few games. It's evident something isn't right because last year he was emerging as one of our more sure-handed wide receivers and punt returners. So with Jacoby George, I just assume that there will be an announcement about him and what may happen in the first few games, and it may not just be him. I mean, usually at this point, there's a few players that done did something bonehead. When I asked Mario, he didn't have an answer. So this week they should let us know what's going on with who's playing, who's going to be suspended, and who's sitting out, and things of that nature. So this morning, for the first time, we got to see the scout team. The reason I say we got to see the scout team is because they actually had on Bethune Cookman jersey colors, maroon and gold. I guess you get used to hitting maroon and gold in practice. Figured you would do it in the game. Bro, listen, this thing's about to get popping. We were one of the first to promote Mario coming here, and it's about to get started. And I predict it turn around really fast. They ain't believing us. Mario did.
It's gonna take 3 motherfucking days, and that's what?